Osrc News at 7. Odatiwa Women Initiatives takes governor's message to Southern Senatorial District. INEC warns political parties against spreading fake news during election process ahead Edo governorship poll. Ekiti State government approves work from home policy for civil servants. And from the foreign scene, protesters demand still to secure release of captive in Gaza. On the news at 7 on Osrc television, I am Oyewumi Ayinigbara. As part of efforts to improve sanitation and waste management in the state, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has approved the constitution of the State Waste Management Board. They are Mrs. Yinka Alabi, who will serve as full-time chairman, Festus Arebushola, a part-time member, and Dr. Tob Loko, who will also serve as part-time member. Others are Aro Bernard, a part-time member, while the General Manager of the Waste Management Authority will serve as secretary. The governor urged the new appointees to map out strategies that will revolutionize the management of waste in the state. Women in Ondo State say they are in tune with the leadership style of Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa and want it extended beyond 2024. The visits of Odatiwa Women Initiative to Eseodo and Odigbo local government areas of the state witnessed large turnout of women who promised to mobilize for November governorship election. Kunle Ario has the detail.
As part of efforts to ensure that all the 3 central districts across the state are abreast of the activities of the present administration, Odatiwa Women Initiatives, under the leadership of Special Advisor to the Governor on Women Affairs, Sheung Wasamaye, began a tour to all the nooks and crannies of the state. Igbekebo, the headquarters of SL, the local government area, was agog as political leaders and women turned out in large number to welcome the entourage. Chairman Transition Committee of SL, the local government, Bayo Anifowoshe, reminded the women of Governor Aiyedatiwa's promises to making his administration an inclusive one.
We in SLDO, we are solidly behind Lucky Aiyedatiwa, not going back. In fact, every woman, every houses in SLDO local government are for Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, nobody again. And we have taken that determination because he is the only one that know where the shoe pinches. He's the only one who understands the system of governance in Nigeria, in Ondo State. So we have determined to make sure he wins again.
The situation was not different in Ore, headquarters of Odigbo local government area, as the women pledged their loyalty to the governor.
Come out during the election, all persons with disability in this local government and across the 18 local governments will come out and cast their vote.
We are trying to sensitize them to ensure that they know, they have the knowledge of good things that His Excellency Orimiso Lucky Aiyedatiwa is doing in Ondo State. And I'm sure with all the good work he's doing, with the way he's going to bring unity into the party and cohesion into the party, I'm sure it's going to be a walkover.
Special Advisor to Governor Aiyedatiwa on Women Affairs, Sheung Wasamaye, who commended the response of the women in all the places visited, wants them to educate people around them on the governance of the present administration.
We have been going around different local governments to interact and engage with our women at the grassroots.
The team was earlier at the palace of Onojo Odigbo, Oba Rufus Akinrimade, who lauded Governor Aiyedatiwa's administration. He encouraged the women to continue to work for peace and growth of the state. Kunle Ario, Osrc News.
Ahead of the Edo State governorship election, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has issued a warning against the spread of fake news and misinformation during the electoral process. The INEC's National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, and Publicity, Miriam Kim, emphasized the critical role the media plays in ensuring the integrity of the upcoming election. Olumekun cautioned that the spread of false information, particularly in the digital age, could lead to public unrest and erode trust in the election results. The commissioner noted that the public can rely on the commission for accurate information, adding that various channels have been made available for voters and the media to verify an election-related news directly with the INEC. While the Commission has taken steps to mitigate the risk of fake news, including regular communication with stakeholders and the media, Olumekun stressed that journalists must remain vigilant. In Benue State, the chapter of the All Progressives Congress APC has successfully elected chairmanship and councillorship candidates for the local government elections scheduled for 5th October 2024. Speaking to journalists in Makurdi, the caretaker organizing secretary and spokesman of the APC caretaker committee in the state, James Agunga, said the primaries were conducted smoothly. According to Agunga, the party successfully elected 23 chairmanships and 276 councillorship candidates for the forthcoming elections. Agunga praised the party members for their peaceful conduct during the primary election and commended the aspirants for their discipline during the screening exercise of 1st and 2nd September 2024. Agunga mentioned that the Primary Election Appeal Committee has begun addressing petitions arising from the conduct of the primaries. He called for cooperation and understanding from party members to ensure the overall success of the electoral process. Agunga further listed the winners in other local government, noting that the process was transparent and successful. The federal government has announced that only buyers with National Identification Numbers (NIN) would benefit as it commenced the sale of 30,000 metric tons of milled rice to Nigerians at a subsidized rate of 40,000 naira per 50 kg bag. President Bola Tinubu, represented by the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, stated during the flag-off ceremony that the rice intervention will be sold strictly on a one-person, one-bag basis. Kyari explained that the 50 kg bags of rice priced at a flat rate of 40,000 naira are part of the federal government's effort to provide subsidized milled rice to help alleviate the ongoing food crisis in Nigeria. He emphasized that the process was designed to prevent individuals from obtaining more than 150 kg bag of rice, noting that beneficiaries will be verified through identification methods such as the NIN and phone numbers to prevent fraudulent individuals from accessing multiple bags at the expense of other citizens. A business assessing outfit, Augusto & Co. has upgraded the rating assigned to Odua Investment Company Limited from A to A+. The assigned rating was based on the assessment of the financial condition of Odua Company as a standalone entity. The rating reports reflect the company's good operating cash flow, diversified revenue sources, and a funding structure currently built on internal funding sources and joint venture partnerships. The group chairman, Otumba Bimbo Ashir, said Odua would not rest on its ears but continue to walk the talk to be a world-class conglomerate for the benefit of the owner state and other stakeholders. The group managing director, Mr. Abdurrahman Yunusa, appreciated the commitment and support of the board, management and staff for the incremental growth and consistent development in the right direction towards Odua's world-class conglomerate aspirations. The Augusto & Co. rating upgrade does not only underscores the company's financial strength and operational excellence, it further sets a new performance benchmark in the industry. And now reactions have continued to trail the recent hike in petrol prices across the country, with Nigerians lamenting that the federal government is inflicting further hardship on the citizen. According to respondents, the cost of fuel in Nigeria had risen by 460% in 15 months, with calls to the federal government to save the country from further socio-economic challenges by immediately reversing the latest increase in fuel price. Joy Pius tells us more.
The removal of fuel subsidy by the federal government has led to harsh economic reality for many Nigerians. Even the joy that accompanied the rollout of PMS by Dangote Refinery has been cut short as NNPC stations have upwardly adjusted its price. In May 2023, fuel price skyrocketed from 185 naira per litre to 500 naira per litre. Since then, fuel prices have continued to rise steadily and now sells between 950 naira and 1,250 naira in some parts of the country, including Ondo State. As a result of the increase, some fuel stations in Akure are under lock, while the few selling the product sells exorbitantly. This has led to the increase in transport fare and generated reactions from the public. Respondents say the persistent increases in the absence of any meaningful social security measures put in place demonstrates lack of empathy and understanding of the challenges faced by ordinary Nigerians.
I got fuel like 2 days ago and I got it 1,250 as against the normal 850. It is difficult to get fuel. The price is high. Some people are not selling. Most filling stations are not selling, so very few are selling. If everyone is selling, even at a high price, at least it will be easy. But now you are getting something at a high price, but then with even a long queue. It is very difficult, to be honest.
ọ̀rọ̀ ipò yìí ó ti fẹ́ gba ẹ̀mí àwọn èèyàn torí a expect ìjọba Tinubu pé ó lè ṣèyàn bí eléyìí. Ó dẹ̀ sọ fún wa pé tóun bá ti yọ subsidy yẹn gbogbo kan máa wálẹ̀ everything máa wà òkè pẹ̀lú epo ni. Náà ojoojúmọ́ wọ́n á dẹ̀ máa tọ̀ wá. So last week báyìí wọ́n sọ pé epo fẹ́ wọ́n àwọn náà deny pé irọ́ ni kò sí kan tó jọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Now àwa epo ní 1,001 now. Àwọn pàtíkà tó fẹ́ wọ ọkọ̀ wọn ò lówó dání ẹlòmíràn máa bẹ̀ẹ́ ní 150 100 naira 200. So kò tí kò tá a lè ṣe tí kò jọ kó já epo yẹn wálẹ̀.
Ojoojúmọ́ lepo ń wọ́n sí epo náà ló dẹ̀ ń jẹ́ kí ọrọ̀ ajé kó túbọ̀ dá sí abẹ̀wọ̀n kan bá wá àkànṣe sí ó ní wá lára kò rọrùn epo tá a rà ń sìn báyìí 1,100 lítà kan kò dẹ̀ lè gbé wa débì kan láti travel lọ láti bí sí Adó padà ó ti tán so 27,000 so kò kì í ṣe nǹkan tó rọrùn.
However, a socio-cultural and political organization, Afenifere, Nigeria Labour Congress, Trade Union Congress, and some civil society organizations called on government to revisit these decisions, promote policies that will strengthen the Naira, and take decisive steps to alleviate the sufferings of Nigerians. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
Osrc News at 7 after the break. Correspondent Osrc's occurrence of blood pressure among teenagers as medical personnel advise frequent medical checkups. Please do join us after the break.
Ṣe tiẹ̀ èjú bá jà o. Èràbé má bá jà o, má bá bínú. Ọ̀nà lọ́rọ̀ bá ti rẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ èjú bá jà o. Ọ̀nà lọ́rọ̀ bá ti ṣe tiẹ̀ èjú bá jà o.
Glad to have you back on the news. You can watch us live. High blood pressure used to be known as a disease attached to the wealthy and elderly in society. Recent findings, however, showed that teenagers are no longer exempted as medical personnel have advised frequent medical checkup. Bidemi Akerutoye Osrc component and challenges associated with the disease.
High blood pressure, a condition often associated with affluence, is now a major health concern in Nigeria, cutting across all strata of society. Reports show that 2 in 3 people in Nigeria are now dealing with high blood pressure issue. A medical expert, Seyi Adewale, sheds light on the different categories of hypertension affecting humans.
We have primary hypertension and then we have secondary hypertension. In some instances, we had essential hypertension. Under the primary hypertension, this is hypertension that occurs de novo. What I mean by that is that this is hypertension that occurs without any risk factors identified. Perhaps this is a form of hypertension that seems to be hereditary in such a way that maybe the parent have a particular kidney disease or congenital heart disease, which the offspring may be invariably inherited. So if such a patient comes to the hospital and we are seeing the hypertension without any risk factors being identified, we say that it's a primary hypertension. Secondary hypertension is the one that is actually secondary to a particular factor, that is caused by a particular identifiable factor. It could be obesity, it could be hyperlipidemia, it could be a sedentary lifestyle, and it could even be due to drugs. Drug abuse could expose somebody to hypertension, in the sense that if somebody is abusing some particular drugs, this may lead to kidney problem, and from this, the patient may develop hypertension.
According to him, certain risk factors can increase the likelihood of developing hypertension or worsen its impacts.
What do we do? The first thing we do is to understand the complications that may arise from hypertension. Hypertension can lead to anything we can think of. Talking about the central nervous system, the hypertension can lead to stroke. A patient can come down with stroke. And talking about the respiratory system, there could be cardiorespiratory insult, cardiorespiratory distress. Talking about the cardiac system, there could be cardiac collapse, there could be cardiovascular collapse, there could be any problem with the heart. And going to the renal system, the kidneys, there could even be nephropathy, hypertensive nephropathy. And this will predispose to patient to myriad of complaint symptoms that may eventually lead to renal transplant and perhaps eventually lead to death.
Amidst the rise in cases of the health condition is the misbelief that only adults are prone to hypertension. However, young persons have been found prone to the condition.
Who and who can be hypertensive? Anybody can be hypertensive, ranging from a newborn baby to any age of life. As long as it's a woman being, anybody can be hypertensive. Recently, there was a case of a 16-year-old boy or girl being said to be hypertensive and died. We can call that one a primary hypertension. Because such a child, though we sympathize with the family, I personally sympathize with the family, but such a child must have been having what I can say primary hypertension, perhaps due to renal, that is kidney issue, kidney pathology, or even cardiac pathology, that is heart pathology.
What can be done to aid prevention and management measures if diagnosed with hypertension?
Once hypertension is diagnosed, our best advice is that patients should go to the hospital. They should avoid the use of herbs. They should avoid the use of local stuffs in treating hypertension, and they should stop self-medication. And the particular drug that works for patient A may not work for patient B, depending on the chemistry of their system. So in this situation, we should approach the hospital, seek qualified doctors and the cardiologist, and will be prescribed with some drugs, investigations will be done, and we should be very strict with this.
Experts warn parents and guardians against negligence and self-medication for their children, advocating regular checkup as the first step to averting fatality in both children and adults. Abidemi Akinrotoye, Osrc News.
The Ekiti State Governor, Biodun Oyebanji, has approved a work-from-home policy for civil servants in the state. The governor, in a statement by Special Advisor on Media, Mr. Yinka Oyebode in Ado-Ekiti, the state capital, stated that the arrangement is aimed at further cushioning the effect of the current economic situation on workers in the state. The new arrangement, which commences on Monday, September 9, 2024, excludes essential workers like teachers, core health workers at the hospital, and security personnel, among others. The governor's aide pointed out that each government agency in the state had been ordered to present a sustainable schedule for the new policy, which must not affect the effectiveness of the workers. The Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, has reminded point of sale operators, POS, across Nigeria that the deadline for business registration initially announced on July 7, 2024 expired yesterday. In a statement, the CAC expressed concerns over inadequate compliance with the directive despite the large number of POS operators in the country. However, CAC commended operators who have taken steps to formalize their businesses, praising their positive attitudes towards compliance. The CAC emphasized that it is working in collaboration with the law enforcement agencies and other relevant stakeholders to implement a comprehensive enforcement and sanction framework. The measures may include the shutdown of non-compliant businesses and all the severe legal consequences. The CAC stated that the registration initiative aims to reduce fraud within the system as well as combat kidnapping and the payment of ransom. And now we move to the foreign scene. Protesters have gathered in Tel Aviv for a fifth consecutive night of anti-government protests. Israel has seen a general strike and hundreds of thousands taken to the street after 6 more captives were found dead in Gaza. The protests have intensified as demonstrators demand a change in government policies and increased accountability. We bring you the reports.
For 5 consecutive nights, Israelis took to the streets in hopes of sending a message to their government that time has run out. Demonstrators carried 27 coffins through the streets of Tel Aviv at the start of the rally to symbolize deceased captives whose bodies are still being held in Gaza.
Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister, sentenced my cousin Carmel to death, her and all the hostages.
Murderer, the crowd chants, blaming Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for the deaths, saying he doesn't want a deal.
We all know that they were alive there, and now they're not. They came back in coffins, 21 people that already came back dead from Gaza, and you know we still have people there that's dead and need to be brought back to be buried in Israel, but still we have many people alive, and we shout for them that we'll get to seal the deal and bring them home before they're dead too.
The eruption of protests calling for a ceasefire deal came after the Israeli army announced it had recovered the bodies of 6 Israeli captives from a tunnel in southern Gaza over the weekend.
And now to sports. Nigeria's Oyin Chechi Mark has made history at the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games by breaking the Paralympic record in the women's 61 kg powerlifting category with a lift of 147 kg. Mark's performance surpassed the previous record held by fellow Nigerian Lucy Ejike, marking an iconic achievement for team. As all driver is attempting 138 kg on our final lift, while Mark aims to extend our record with a final attempt of 147 kg, further cementing a dominance in the sport. Team Nigeria has long been a powerhouse in Paralympic powerlifting and athletics. At the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics, the country secured an impressive 10 medals, including 4 golds. Athletes such as Lucy Ejike and Bose Omolayo have set global benchmarks, with Ejike herself holding multiple world records and gold medals in powerlifting. And now, a Ugandan Olympic runner Rebecca Cheptegei has been hospitalized in Kenya after being set on fire by her partner, according to the police. Rebecca Cheptegei, who competed last month in the Paris Olympic Games, suffered burns to 3/4 of her body when her partner poured petrol on her and set her ablaze. A police report later on Monday. So now, Saeed Arabisala brings us more.
A family in mourning for a rising athletic star. Long-distance runner Rebecca Cheptegei had represented Uganda at several international competitions, including the Paris Olympics. Cheptegei relatives say her death was a culmination of a bitter land dispute with her estranged boyfriend. He is accused of dousing her with kerosene and setting her alight. Her children were there at the time.
I blame the government because we reported the abuses and threats my daughter was getting from the man. We told the police about the harassment.
Doctors tried to save her.
She had severe burns of a significant portion of her body. So the severe burns led to multi-organ failure.
This is not an isolated case. Cheptegei is the third prominent sportswoman to be killed in Kenya in 3 years.
We've had Agnes Tirop die in 2021. We've got Damaris Mutua die in 2022, and now Rebecca Cheptegei. And so we need to have targeted efforts for athletes to know how to get justice and how to get out of situations where their lives are at risk.
Many sportswomen based in Western Kenya say they are sexually and financially exploited by coaches, managers and partners in the male-dominated training camps.
I know of world record holders, world champions, whom I cannot, of course, mention on air, who are going through a lot because of the customs where the women are subservient to the men. You know, they go out there, win marathons, win road races, win track competitions, get very good income. All this income goes to their husbands. Their bank accounts are in the names of their husbands.
Cheptegei's loved ones say they want justice, but first they want to give her a befitting burial to honor her achievement both on and off the track. Sahid Arabisala, Osrc News.
And with that report, we conclude the news line. But before we go, a quick look at the top stories. We told you that ahead of the November governorship election, the All Datiwa Women Initiatives have taken Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa's goodwill message to the Eseodo and Odigbo local government area of the state. INEC has warned political parties against the spread of fake news during election process ahead Edo governorship poll. And we also told you that the Ekiti state government has approved work from home policy for civil servants across the state. Government agency in the state have been ordered to present a sustainable schedule for the new policy. And from the